Welcome to our lovely future humans, those who love to know how to be that which is your integrated brain and your restorative, embodied, self aware, accountable, regulating person. Or if you don't know any of those words, it's a self agent. It's a person who loves to own their life because you own your sense of self, you own your destiny, even when people say we don't, and you use inner growth mindset mindfully in daily life and on ascension days. Those are the people who will resonate with me and the IHP content, with my lovely consulting services, mentorship, marketer, personal growth, spiritual growth, the paid free content that you get to hear about here. Okay, and I'm beginning with this so that we can get the ball rolling for those who are intrigued with self-mastery, as well as playing with the texture, feelings, and thoughts, because really it's fun. And as the paid content rolls out with anger, we'll be rolling out with other emotions and I have other ideas and thoughts, especially with the group practices that I'm going to be able to bring forth in retreats, but also for us as we build our community. And so the composition of thoughts, when using different words, we have a good time with it. And that's why we do know, thank you, Sadhguru, how can you love one and hate the other when the same divine exists in all? And as I learned from Jesus, the kingdom of God is within everyone. And I learned from the attachment trauma educators, when they're a whole self, not self-righteous energy, not adaptive child part, not a person who has their child not being tended to. Okay, so the self-agents who are self-led gravitate to IHP content and content like this, as well as to people like me, and that's our 5D collective. It is because we deal with unknowns, uncertainties, unwanteds, unexpecteds, and undesirables, all of these types of life and relationship situations, with the very thing that is staying intimate and kind or neutral within ourselves. Curious. So we stay curious when these life events and relationships present themselves, and we also stay aware. We are aware of the personal and or spiritual growth opportunity that these important life events, relationships have brought to us. And here's why God, Spirit, Akash, Source, Consciousness does not ever send us anything that is bad or mean. Okay, so when you say everyone's divinity, the ones who are in a lower frequency, they're not actually embodying any of that, which is the piece of source that they are, the soul. You are a pure piece of energy, pure consciousness, when you can be, like God is to me, discerning, equanimous love, when you can be the frequency of that which is pure consciousness, which is on the top. Remember the scale? I showed it to you. So the ones who are self-righteous, they're in shame. They're in anger. They're not on top. This is the pure consciousness. The ones who like to go yelling around and calling people Lucifer and energy vampires, taking entities off of each other and stuff like that. There's right here, the third dimension, anger, 150, hate, and there's suffering. Okay, so they're not yet where they could be, and that's exactly why Patrick Chan says you're not going to raise your vibration and heal your childhood trauma. And that is where I have consistently seen 3D, 4D leave alone that which is their body to rot with basically self-loathing, gut wrench, torn apart, and to mask it with their self-righteous. And that's masking it. The Cusco attitude. Go watch The Emperor's New Groove, Cusco. Go watch Ice Age and watch Diego's Family. So to a T, 3D, 4D continue to have disturbances in self-organization. They're martyrs, superiors, blamers. They're also low self-esteem and direct communication and passing on the baton of contempt and self-righteousness. They're furthermore claiming to be the true believers of God, Source, Akash, and anytime you hear someone say, I'm true, and their other ones are fake, it's like when these pseudo-intellectuals say, people don't like the facts, but they've isolated themselves from all of their colleagues. Okay, yeah, Jungle Boy, I see you have the monkey, walk like me, talk, you have a bunch of copycats, and very fascinating. None of them are grounded in reality, not spiritual, not mystic, not intelligent at all, but hey, have fun with each other, and then we all just, again, matter. 8 billion people, so please, it's a personal journey. When people don't want to go to Patrick Tiahan, I agree with him, they're cowards. When they are with Patrick Tiahan, I agree with him, they don't have to forgive their households, but I personally forgive because I'm a self-led human being who has no regrets. I have no charges. I got to have the lucky end of the stick, and God has been discerning equanimous love since the moment I met him when I was a child. And my good catechist, thank goodness, my Christian Catholic catechist made me a good Christian Catholic who knows yoga does not bring demons out of you. How dare you theologians create a whole bunch of bullshit words to say that Reiki is bad. And the Dalai Lama called out to every one of the religious figures to say, come on in and join us all, because we're really all on the same mission. And again, Jesus said, the kingdom of God is within you. Science proves, yes, you have heaven in the body when your body's connected. So 1 + 1 = 2. The ones who don't want to believe it say, ha ha ha, neuroscience proves it. I've seen it before. The demonic possession. It's bullshit. Okay, it's pseudoscience. Sure, I'm pseudoscience woo-woo. Not neuroscience, but hey, have fun. As you keep staying with the people who, in fact, we have people who don't take their children to hospitals and say they're more believers and faithful than any of us. In the meantime, I think Hippocrates mentioned to his collective at the time of Hippocrates, when we find out what epilepsy is, they didn't have the word for it, we will stop calling it the wrath of the gods. Now that we know what disorganized attachment and dissociative disorders are, we know no person is owned by demons or devils or Lucifers. Now that we know when a person is using the dark sides of neuroplasticity and they're shutting themselves in their self-righteous shame, blame, fault, revenge, low frequency, and that's very much a blind ego that's just going to want to floor, want to think they know all, and they're just, talking. They won't even notice what's happening in the room, by the way. Sure, again, low frequency people, we really hope that one day you get out of having pats on the back and get yourselves to a good therapist. But if you don't, we're going to watch 3D, 4D, because from afar, they will not engage with any of those of us who actually know self-agency. Because the one thing that those who are self-righteous don't like, because they're insecure with shame, blame, fault, revenge, and guilt, and their stories, the narratives, they're not strong. They're only for people strong when they don't know how to think and feel on their own. I just want it to be a world where it's not about what feels right, what is right. Enlightenment is a trap. Zen master with enlightenment, it's laundry. How many of them are there? So, pseudo-intellectuals, spiritual bypassers, savior complex people, all unhealed, they all have an opportunity. Thank you, Patrick Tian, for being out there to go and not forgive anything that happened to them and to keep on doing whatever they're doing, but to be able to take ownership of the unkind business and all the child parts that come up every time some shit's going down in their life because they got triggered. And then they're dehumanizing everybody based on their first 8 years of life and saying that, no, it is all the groups that they've decided they hate. And that's very much why the fourth step to healing trauma, do you know what it is? Studies show people wanting bystanders to take their side and then go punish. So they have in and out group, mediocre behavior. I don't support mediocre behavior. You teach children not to use their hands because that's barbaric, it's unnecessary. Use your mouth, grow your brain with good intellectual information, grow your heart with yummy feelings, and then learn how to harness the other feelings. They're not good or bad, but let's learn how to work with sadness and fear. Because, anger too, actually. Those three, and then happiness, surprise, disgust. So we get to do that again, paid and free subscribers, but paid get 5-minute, 15-minute, and we're going to have a light version of the masterclass, and then we're going to have some samples of the retreat, but I'm going to make it so that you can use it with your own groups, or I'm going to get creative. I love creating. Okay, so self-agents are those who are self-led, and they will gravitate towards HP content, my content, and then content similar to it of all the 5D collective, mystic, spiritual, mindfully living, loving people. They're sciences, they're spiritual, but we have a good time all together. And so again, dealing with unknowns, uncertainties, unwanted, unexpected, and undesirable situations tells us we're going to get to create resiliency because we have a wellness mindset and well-being lifestyle choices. So we understand how to take care of ourselves because we want to, and we don't do hate. If we use the word as grown-ups, like, I don't really mean it. You learn how to use words and then to also not mean it with a charge, but we'll still use words. Although the hate one I don't usually use. I've used it once where I had 2 people in my hate box, and then I said, God, I'll take care of it. I know it's a sin to have the hate thing. Don't worry. And I did over time. So now I personally don't use it. But if I ever do, see, you used it, Maria. Okay, what I meant to say was I don't like. Is that better? I'm imperfect and flawed. What do you want? I'm not saying that I won't ever. And so when someone's like gonna hold something down on a little finger, they're like, okay, can we let it go? So self-agents, mystics, spiritual, and or mindful people, they enjoy expanding, mastering, and maturing that which is their sense of self, creating resiliency in their restorative embodiment through the use of the lovely mindful mindset practices and lifestyle choices that I get to, again, bring to you here. So you're adding to your daily well-being and wellness daily life and or ascension day spiritual growth routines. This is what I love about the 5D collective, is that they're consistently invested not only in their own lifestyle and their own mindset, but in leaving behind with humanity that which is a ventral vagal state, so we don't carry on with the transgenerational cultural trauma. We are able to talk about societal topics like the polyamory, monoamory one. We're able to talk about the whole religious, spiritual one. We're able to talk no Lucifer, no entities, stop dehumanizing people. We're able to know pronouns, he, she, it. You know, we got a bunch of people who are really handling change very, very unwell, but we can get it because cognitive dissonance and structural dissociation are not simple. And if they don't want the therapist, there's a reason it's not self-sabotage. Is that their body from the first 3 years of their life, which is why Robert Sapolsky wrote his book Determined, although I'm saying why, but no, his why is totally different. But I'm saying his book gives us the opportunity to know that the first 3 years of life is how you will perceive life. And Dr. Amy Apigian confirms. So does Stephen Porges, so does Bessel van der Kolk. So the people who are disregarding that, their bad taste for humanity and them calling out people Luciferian air and all that, it's a reflection of what they have lived. All of it. Low frequency. So shame can be used to grow, but when it's being used with shame, blame, fault, revenge, and guilt and all that, which is the third D, it's all self-righteous energy, childhood pain that could be healed. And if they look for bystanders, like the flat earthers, they create a group. And then they turn their backs on each other, or they betray each other and they continue to do Diego's family. That's what happens when you have martyrs, superiors, blamers, and people who are insecure, because their self-righteous energy actually comes from, I'm an insecure human being who has to be right. They only want followers, and then they're all disciples of each other, and then they're all monkeys from the Jungle Boy, and Pinocchio's on the island, Peter Pan's with Lost Boys, and then they're all following Wendy's around, and those of us who are grounded in reality are like, wow, yes, spirituality has moved forward, so has sciences. I'm pretty sure that they don't notice. So the flat earthers are helping us to make sure the earth isn't flat. So we thank them for their service. It's really great. If ever they come out with it's right, we can thank them. You know, we leave them alone because, hey, one day they might find out that they're right. So at the end of the day, as a mentor, content creator, and podcast host, also marketing consultant for some of you who don't know that, but you can also do the personal growth consultant and or a lot of different words that mean one and in the same to me. I support people with their personal and spiritual growth and or businesses for the marketing component. Mindful Mindset is the content that I provide, but also stories, points of views. You know that. It gives guidance and practices and ideas for people who enjoy well-being mindsets, who also enjoy wellness lifestyle choices, and above all, who love to create resiliency in daily life and on ascension days, which we have a couple coming up. So the content is ideal for all of those of you who are self-led, you have healthy self-worth, and you have self-love. And that is, yes, you love yourself first, because that's why you wellness, well-being, mindset, inner growth. I have emotions, I feel deeply, okay? So the content guides mystics and spiritual people on a spiritual path who are carrying out their soul's calling in this lifetime to continue expanding light body, rainbow body. It's really fun to become consistently one with that which is source Akash, and to have communion with God and all of the archangels and galactic beings. And I mean, it's amazing, your oversoul, the earth, beyond. And so again, the content here at HP and everything that you'll be hearing will resonate with self-agents who pursue mental, emotional, physical maturity and mastery, and therefore they want to live for personal development, a restorative, embodied, self-aware, accountable, and regulating life through all of that which they do, through the self-empowering personal growth efforts. And for the mystics and spiritual people who want to live spirituality, they're actually putting that into practice by living that life of meaning and connection beyond the solo self, thanks to not only bringing forth their soul, the soul's calling, because they have a sense of self, they own their body, again, they're using their functional child adult, so they have tapped into that pure state of their own, but they're also sharing the wisdom of the heart and the wisdom of, I accept and love you and respect you for who you are, and no matter if you're 5D or 3D, 4D brothers or sisters, you're going to be welcomed, because that's why we're somatic empaths, and that's why we are the true leaders of love. Then we have our true leaders of shame, and they continue to show us exactly how their adaptive child part is rigid, unforgiving, harsh, and does not like differences, and in fact chaotic too. I just wanted to be a world where it's not about what feels right, what is right, enlightenment, it's a fucking trap. Ugh. And the Zen master who has laundry. So when you have people who don't know how to do self and being able to be wrong, and self and being able to cry, and self and being able to say, wow, hey, God, Akash source, consciousness, divinity, anima mundi, and dark matter, dark energy. It's an amazing day. Let's hope tomorrow the sun rises and that we do not actually have to not awaken, although we would not know, but you know, it's nice. We want to live. So welcome those of you who are implementing that which is Dharma. Our karma is very different because the 5D collective of those who are here at our 15-minute mark, we take action. So there's karma, jnana, bhakti, and kriya. These are the types of yogas. And so I understand that we are always building some type of karma, and there's always a balance. And because we're imperfect and flawed, of course, there's always cosmic karmic balancing at act, which is why it's fun to play with words and thoughts in a way of having fun with our brothers and sisters. And the ones who, though, are living their karma, they're stagnating in it. So their self-fulfilling prophecies will come forth. They actually gravitate and tune into a very specific frequency. And also the pseudo-intellectuals, not only pseudoscience, but pseudo-intellectuals on a ball house, narratives that are completely amazing. I mean, really, I'm seeing some stories. I'm like, whoa, this is really fun as we move forward into the future. That's why we're the future humans. So like, share, and subscribe, and let anybody else who you do know likes to pursue personal growth and spiritual growth to come on over. And that's free subscribers here at YouTube. Spotify has free and paid subscriber, again, options. So you can become a paid subscriber if you do want to add to your mindful mindset communication skills and practices. And there's a lot more that will be added over time. And I might have some time for a couple lives. We'll find out. But in the meantime, thanks for stopping by again. Have a good one.